Mommy! Please let me in. Are you my mommy?
The Doctor, Sarah, and new assistant Harry Sullivan land on what appears to be a deserted spaceship, but almost immediately get attacked by the security system and get split up. Sarah gets sent to a mysterious chamber, while the Doctor and Harry explore, finding clues to discover what happened on the Ark. Eventually they come across a room full of what's left of the human race, thousands of them, frozen in status, and Sarah is amongst them. Can they get Sarah out of status? What led the human race to this? And what is lurking in the cupboard? Find out as we review The Ark in Space, written by Robert Holmes, directed by Rodney Bennett, and was broadcast from the 23rd of January to the 15th of February, 1975.
Hello and welcome to This Eyes of Harmony podcast review of The Ark in Space. That classic story that you should have seen if you call yourself a classic Who fan. Or any Doctor Who fan should definitely see this one.
Yeah.
So, let's just kind of dive straight into this one.
Yeah.
So,
right into it.
very, very good. I just want to put that out there.
Yeah.
It's kind of incredible how early on in, Bloomin' Tom Baker's career as the Doctor, he makes it just his own.
Yeah, he just gets into the role, immediately. Even in Robot, I say he's stronger in Robot, than compared to, a lot of Doctors upon their first story.
Yeah, I'd say, actually, Tom Baker is the most solid person who's played exactly the same all the way through. Apart from Colin Baker was pretty... He didn't
solid. Get that long.
He just didn't get a good enough story.
Who knows if he'd last as long as Tom Baker?
John Pertwee's a bit... I don't know, he plays around with it a bit. He's a bit more grumpy and then kind of goes a bit more kind of warm-hearted, which is okay, but...
I know. He kind of wavers depending on where you go.
Yeah, but Tom Baker managed to keep it solid from the start all the way through. He knew exactly the character he was going to play, and he, kind of
stick to it the entire way through.
And
he already feels comfortable here.
It's so weird when you watch it, you don't think, oh, this is his second story. It's crazy, really, when you just try and think about it. It's mad. How quickly, but so it kind of starts with that cool kind of shot.
This is like a minor nitpick about this opening shot, but the camera's a little bit shaky. It kind of is a little off-putting.
Yeah, but
actually, the model work itself is good.
You mean the of the spaceship?
Oh yeah, it zooms in.
I thought you were talking about the Wirrin
No. Oh yeah, the Wirrin bit beforehand. I forgot. Sorry, I forget because the first thing I got down is about the spaceship.
No, it starts with the unseen. Is it kind of? I think it does start with a shot actually of it, and then it goes inside, and it has the kind of green camera coming towards the person, which is really good. It does the classic thing of just showing you a bit of a monster, but not showing it completely. That's always good. Actually, just putting this out there, episode 1 is actually a whole lot of nothing. It actually is. So little happens, but it's so well written and so well acted that actually I don't care. It's actually really thrilling.
It's a part purely based on the 3 main cast members, really. There's nobody else there. It's
the main villain in this first one. The main villain in this first one is this security thing. That's it. In episode 1, the Wirrin are barely in it. It's no threat comes from the Wirrin.
To the end, yeah.
Well, that's a dead one. It's barely a threat.
That too. Well, you don't know that at the time.
You don't know that at the time. That is true. But it's crazy to think that actually so little actually happens, and the Wirrin plot doesn't actually really get going until about episode 3. Yeah, it's just still so well acted, and there's enough action, enough horror, and enough, talkiness to make it. It's a perfect blend, really.
Yeah, it's pretty tense. And though in the first part, I'd say Sarah doesn't do. Well, Sarah kind of sits down a lot. But that's to kind of get her on her own kind of path, because it does something a bit different.
It splits them
while,
up to
while
get them
more
through the shit, yes.
focus is put on the new companion Harry, who really bounces off well off Tom Baker.
Oh,
Really
their
gives us,
conversation is amazing. I love it.
I like Harry in general. Like, he's so kind of awkward.
Yeah, I love his really kind of socially awkwardness. It's just complete gentleman, but like kind of still out of time still. And I like it at one point when the doctor is like, oh, you know, it looks like, you know, like 30th century build, and Harry goes, oh no, and is like, you don't think I'm right? Or it's like that. It's like just great moments like that. Yes, oh no, and he goes, you don't agree? But yeah, I mean, there's one interesting bit. The intro of episode 1, the title sequence has been tinted a green and pink.
Yeah.
And they were trying something new, but then they just dropped it for the rest of the episodes. It's really weird that they'd get it all the way to the finished state.
Admittedly, it didn't look all that great in my eyes.
No, it looked awful, but it's like, why do it for one episode? Surely they could have just changed it.
Well, I think they tried it out, found it wasn't particularly great, and then just...
Yeah. It was weird, because at first I thought my TV was off. I was like, oh no, what's happening to the colour?
Well, I thought perhaps, the quality of the film must have been damaged at some point.
Yeah,
but... something. No.
I don't know, yeah.
I know. And, like, immediate threat, like, Sarah goes into a room, the door closes, and then she's suffering from oxygen, like, stuff.
Yeah.
And, like, it's like... And that's not that far into the episode, like, they just had a small chance to kind of walk around a little bit.
And
but
she's
then,
already almost dying.
Almost dying.
Which is pretty intense, really, especially as, like, they're stuck on the other side of the wall, and, like, he's like...
They're not really paying attention to
like,
it
which
at all.
button, Harry? Just really good dialogue. Robert Holmes is kind of knocks out the park with dialogue.
Definitely.
But yeah, I mean, then she gets, when they finally get to her, they lie down on the bench, and then she gets teleported away, and then they get stuck under the table. I like that moment where he like puts up his hat and it gets blasted, like slaps it down, and it's like,
goes for his scarf.
Give me a cricket ball, I'll hit that in one shot. I'd actually be interested if he had actually hit it or not. I think it would have been funny if it showed him throw it and he just totally missed it.
Yeah.
Just like smashes through like a window and then just soaks all the oxygen out and they just all die. That would be a quick ending.
It's right immediately,
and then they find all the people there.
And the doctor's speech at this moment.
Oh,
like,
the
when
Homo sepia. Yeah.
It's really wonderful.
Moment.
Like, and like...
It's kind of weird that it comes in episode 1. It's kind of one of those speeches that,
Well, it makes sense in the context.
It makes sense
because,
in the context.
It wouldn't have made sense really anywhere else.
Yeah.
But it really is a lovely speech, and like...
It is very, very nice.
And I have to say, like, the people there, like, I mean, I think all the, most of the issues I have with this episode are just kind of nitpicks, and like, and about, like, some of the design bits, so like, the fact is that all the people are kind of in, you would have thought they would have done something decently futuristic, but it just seems like, plastic, which just put them all in.
Yeah, it's kind of, weird, kind of shiny material.
Yeah, I mean, like,
their dialogue.
I think they could have done something a little bit more interesting than
like this white clothing. I guess it was supposed to be like.
I mean, more the where they're being held.
Oh, they're kind of pods.
The plastic.
Yeah. Oh no, they're okay. I mean,
it doesn't feel like something that would be all that great for cryogenic, especially considering how easily the door comes open. Like,
I think
should just chase it like Shudder at some point. Just gonna go flying out.
Well, they're just it's true. But I think they definitely should have actually reused those in Smile. That would have been nice.
That might have been a nice touch, but
that's a different story. But it's just there's also talking going on and not much happens. But Tom Baker, it's the way he talks. He can make this security software sound like the most dangerous thing. It's the way he just deals with when he's scared or anything. At one point, he even says to Sarah, "Is like, when I say I'm afraid, Sarah, I mean it." And like he does this look, and he's, I know, he just manages to act it so perfectly. It's like when they're under the table and it's like, oh, throw your shoe. When I tell you. Like, that's such good moments.
every moment, like, he makes the best out of every moment.
Yeah.
Like, even in Tom Baker's lowest moments, Tom Baker somehow manages to make a lot of it interesting. So last match we talked a lot about Underworld. You know, there's a lot of bad things with the episode, but you can't say that about Tom Baker.
Yeah.
He makes his scenes interesting as much as possible.
Yeah,
even if the rest of it isn't so great.
You can make a
So the great story, he makes it even better in a lot of cases.
Exactly,
He just kind of... He really does bring everything up. And, like, again, just how because he's with Harry a lot, especially, like, in the first few episodes, a lot with Harry. And it's just... The bond between them and the way they bounce off each other just really kind of... It just makes it so good. It really does just make it so good.
It's a solid... And, it's kind of, I always find it a shame that Harry didn't stay as long as he could have. I think that he and Tom Baker were like they were the new Jamie and second Doctor, really.
Yeah,
they could have been.
There's a shame. I would have loved to have seen him in, like, at least for Tom Baker's second series.
Yeah.
He only did Terror of Zygons.
And
I mean, it makes sense for his character, because, like, you know, he kind of was just taken away.
He had a brief moment in Android Invasion, but it's not him, it's a fake him, and it's like, it's a shame that just because he got back to Earth, he decided to leave. It was well,
in fairness, I mean, he was kind of dragged along, and then, like, he didn't get a chance to get off at any point, because...
That is true.
The really interesting thing about this entire first season is that it's just one story after another. There's no break in it.
Yeah.
Like, it's all
they must be
connected.
exhausted.
Which also, it's sort of a shame, because, like, a lot of the extended universe stuff, you can't do anything with Harry, because his story arc is here.
Yeah, they can always go back, but they can't manage to.
I mean,
slide
I've got
anything
a book which takes place with Harry a lot later. I don't remember the name off the top of my head, but like, it's interesting to see him there. But like, in really like audio adventures and in well, I know you can't do audio adventures really anyway with Harry necessarily, but in terms of like novelization specifically, you can't really do a lot with Harry because like. This is his story. It's one story after another. There's, Yeah,
it's kind of Harry, really. It's kind of a Harry who kind of thing. Because, Now, my question is, does stories connecting every week like this work better for Doctor Who? Do you like the continuous connecting every week together? I think, in some ways, it really does work. Like in classic Doctor Who, definitely like the early days, the black and white, every episode had a cliffhanger. Even at the end of Adventure, it would kick off the next one.
Well, not in every story though.
Most of the first season it did.
For most of the first season, but like there are gaps where they just kind of leave and there isn't a cliffhanger. So there are some, like for example, at the end of the Celestial Toymaker, for example, it leads straight on to the Gunfighters.
Yeah, it leads straight on.
But like I think episodes. So for example, I think Darkest Invasion of Earth, they just sort of leave.
Yeah, but that ends on the cliffhanger of leaving Susan behind. That's why.
That's true. But like, that doesn't directly connect to next week. So something can happen in between.
But,
I think it varies from week to week. So some do, some don't.
Most of the first season, every episode led on to the next one. Even Edge of Destruction ended with them seeing a footprint in the snow.
That's true. No, they leave the TARDIS at the end of that.
Yeah, and at the end of An Unearthly Child, it's the radiation dial goes all the way
I like it
up.
because it does you kind of fully experience a character's journey while they're on there.
I know, it helps you kind of... I felt
but at the same time, I kind of like the expanded things and the kind of mystery of... So, like, in Series 1, for example, when they mentioned, like, other adventures that they went on, like, it was kind of nice in its way as well.
Yeah, I liked it, but it was...
So I like
when they mentioned, like, the other adventures, it wasn't that anything had gone wrong there, so I didn't feel like I'd missed out on anything. That's why I quite liked how they'd done Series 10. Kind of the first 3 episodes, like they carried on one after the other, and I quite like that. I think it works really well for this first season of Tom Baker's. But yeah, so they escape that room. It's amazing. The first 10 minutes are in those 2 rooms, or even longer. It's like over half of that first episode is literally in the room that the TARDIS lands in, and the one next to it.
In fact, in the episode in general, there isn't too many rooms in general. Like
No.
there's the status, there's the
kind of
cryo room.
Yeah.
There's the outside of it with like the control panel and
And
stuff.
the,
there's the
kind of
hallway.
casket, yeah.
And
I
there's-
love that hallway shot with the space outside. That is really nice. Like,
Yeah.
I love that part of the set. Anytime they had that in the set, I was like,
I mean, a lot of the time, like I think they've used their small budget effectively.
definitely. I mean, the only thing when one of the colonists wakes up, I think it's Noah, when he comes out of the polystyrene, you could just really hear that polystyrene squeak, and it's like, oh.
Yeah,
he really
they're
took me out of the
corners.
moment, because I was like, "Ooh, it's pretty cool. Look at him, he's coming out." I was like, ah.
It sounded more like a seagull.
Yeah, but oh my god, Keaton Moore as Noah just steals the show so much as Noah. He is amazing in this story. I just
actually, it's
hands
interesting.
down.
Actually, I'd say Vera as well.
Oh no, I do like her, but the problem I found with her was her dialogue was a bit boring. It was
I think that was
good,
kind
but
of-
it became kind of
that was-
tiring. All this
that
kind of,
was
but it was part of
kind
the
of
kind
the
of where
point.
the
Because
colonists
they
have got
are
to.
they have specifically been chosen. They've specifically been
Yeah.
like, trained
I like
to
to-
be specific
yeah.
purposes in the giant machine in order to perfect a new human race, basically.
Yeah,
In kind of a way, kind of what they're trying to do in Invasion of the Dinosaurs, actually, in a way.
yeah, it's
They-
true.
this was out of necessity rather than they choosing to
restart. But yeah, when Sarah gets taken away and then she ends up in that casket area, and that voice of the president or whatever,
and
that's
like she wants to escape.
scary.
It's like
Yeah.
too calming and
Yeah, it's really kind of scary, that moment. And yeah, it's just such a solid episode 1. The cliffhanger's not as good as it
Well,
could be,
I
but
don't know. I think
It's a
having
good-
this
because you can't-
first
yeah.
seeing this creature jump out at you,
and you can't really see it, so it's quite scary. But I know, I think we may.
There's a-
should
I have
had
to
a bit
say,
of a further out
the
shot,
design
maybe.
itself of the Warren is really really cool.
I love the
actually.
Wirren. The Wirren design is incredible. Absolutely love the Wirren. But I think they would look even more awesome if they were brought back. They could ace it, especially the eyes. They could make the eyes look really, really cool. But I wouldn't want them to do CG. Except for really far off shots. Like, like when they're going over like a space station or something.
I'd always fear that if they brought it back, for one, they'd probably have to try and redesign it. And I don't know whether or not they'd redesign it more to be like the Silurians or more to be like the Ice Warriors side of things, Will it
I
be
think
good
they'd
or
go
bad?
Ice Warrior away.
I'd hope so, but you never know. And second off, the issue is that I think the story is so good in it. So I always feel with bringing back one-off monsters for so long ago is that a lot of these monsters, their stories are so good in the first place that you almost don't want to. You don't want to touch it, It's too good,
That is true. But I would.
It's the same thing with something like Sutek, for example, as well.
The Sutek, I know.
I think it's a slightly different case with Sutek,
To me,
but I think it's
just like
kind of
them as
similar.
that one, but I know that we're in a kind of these bug creatures, and it's like they're not like the thing is with Sutek is he is number one, as Lazy Town says. He is number one, and I know it's kind of he got defeated and he is away. Maybe Chris Chibnall, I don't know. Maybe I could trust Chris Chibnall to do, but I prefer a Mega.
Yes.
In terms of coming back, Sutek very much worked as a one-off villain, but I know that we're in a kind of a species, and I don't think that was their entire species there because it's like wasps.
No.
There's billions of queens out there, bees and stuff, and there's not just one family, of wasps. There's billions of families, and the Wirrens are just large wasps, really, in some ways, So, I mean, there's definitely more out there. And I think they have appeared in extended universe stuff, haven't they? Possibly? I'm not sure.
I'll look it up quickly.
But, so, I mean, the first episode is just, pretty much near perfection. I love the best thing about this story is definitely Noah's slow transformation.
Yeah, the confliction in his head and just not being able to quite
But then, the So yeah, in episode 2, this kind of like, so Sarah dies so many times, almost dies so many times in this episode.
Yeah, she kind of puts it harsh.
Like, even the one which is really underplayed though is when like they try and take her out of a cryogenis, stasis kind of thing. They try and take her out, and it's just like she will either live or die. But they never really played on that. She just kind of lives.
Mm. Yeah, no, they always, yeah.
And they kind of just woke up, and it's like, cool. Oh. My question is how did, like, Vira wake up? Like, what? Yeah.
Because they've been messing with the cables.
Oh yeah, no, they refixed the system, but like, why was hers the first to go? It was kind of lucky that she was the first
I think all the engineers.
And originally, if Harry hadn't have been there holding that first aid casket, she needed that thing. That jab. Like, who was going to give that to her if they weren't there? There's a bit of a plot hole. Like,
yeah, no, I didn't.
She would have been stuck,
Yeah.
No, he was going to do it.
Actually, I'll just go back quickly. I just looked up the Wirren. They appeared in a few extended universe stuff. There's also a dead Wirren in a prison ship in Stones of Blood.
Oh yes, that little cameo, which was cool.
And there's an audio adventure, there's a book, and there's a few things. Not too much though, actually. Like only like 4 things.
But yeah, so Sarah wakes back up. So that was kind of so underplayed, that bit. I think.
Yeah, I mean, admittedly, they took a while to actually get her back, though. They see her, and then it takes a while before anything happens. And of course, it's Vira who has to do it.
Yeah. So I like how they explain why they left the Earth, like with solar flares. That was nice. It kind of closure on that,
because the trees weren't there to save it.
Yeah, that dumb thing, the forest. That does actually make a massive plot hole. Maybe they just were like, screw it. Maybe
they cut down too many trees.
Yeah, too much deforestation.
Yeah, it's true. It's true. They weren't able to save themselves. One line I really like around this area is like Harry's talking, and then he's like talks about how he's from Earth and London, and then he keeps talking about like the Navy and such, and like Vera's just like.
I think even she's weirded out.
Like Harry, actually around the people in general, like Harry, keeps blabbering on about things.
Yeah, he doesn't really shut up, does he? He just keeps talking. He's just one of those people that just in awkward situations just carries on talking and talking. So yeah, the Doctor goes down to the station's infrastructure, and then we see that green kind of grub in the little thing in the solar collector, like feeding. I mean, I have to say,
and again, this is another nitpick, but from a design standpoint, like the fact that a lot of the pre-stages are just bubble wrap.
See, I don't think it looks that bad, really.
I mean, for what it's worth, actually, there's an interesting thing. I don't remember which episode this was. This was one of the John Pertwee episodes, but they were talking about like stuff like that. At this point in time, bubble wrap was relatively new. So it wasn't really a thing that you could just like go down to the store and buy, and it wasn't just kind of laughable. It was a new thing, and it was kind of it looks alien and a bit different from their perspective. Now looking at it, it looks a bit laughable, a bit silly. Like, what the heck is he doing? He's got bubble wrap around his hand.
I remember when they did I think it's in the special features, they're talking about the slug thing, and you can actually watch some unedited footage where you could just, you could just hear it, like all the bubbles popping as it falls on the floor. It's just like pop, 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 pop. It's really, really funny.
Yeah, I mean, in retrospect, it's really kind of bad. But
I think the grub doesn't look good, but I think on the hand it looks really good. You can just see his hand like underneath it as well, and it's kind of
changing,
growing over it.
Yeah. I mean, admittedly, you don't see the grub for very long, so it's more like a.
Yeah, I mean, it's actually pretty intimidating when it tries to get through that door in, I think, either episode 3, when it's, like, kind of floating around the door and it stands up, and then they shoot it away.
I have to say, the Wirren concept in general, actually, just by absorbing people, taking all their knowledge, and then moving on to the next person, it's kind of morbid. Like, it's Yeah, it's kind of
It's
taking
pretty-
everything from them.
Yeah,
and then,
it's kind of like a mix of Alien and I think Alien came out this year as well. Ridley Scott's Alien. So I think they kind of were kind of
no, I
playing
thought it
on
was
that.
later. I'm pretty
Um,
sure it's not 75 Alien. I thought it was like
Was it-
78 or 9.
the whole story bears resemblance to the Ridley Scott film released in 1979.
9, yeah. So this is way earlier.
Yeah, this is before it. Ha!
Hey!
Ridley Scott watched this. Yeah, it does seem a lot like that with the kind of it laid its eggs inside.
Only with a lower budget.
The guy who disappeared. I can't remember his name now.
I don't remember his name either.
Yeah.
I have to question though. Like, if this has been thousands of years beyond, like, for the body clock, how come it took till now for the Wurren to actually do anything?
Because it only just arrived.
No, but didn't he lay the eggs in the guy?
Yeah, because then it ate from the inside, and then it became that grub thing.
Then how come the grub didn't do anything until...
Because that only just happened before the Doctor arrived. Because remember, he connects to the consciousness and is watching everything that the Wirren did. So the Queen arrived,
Yeah.
got shot by the security thing. As it was dying, it laid its eggs in the person, and it died in the closet.
Yeah.
Then it devoured guy in stasis. Then it was grub, and then it went into the solar thing to gain energy.
Okay.
That's the storyline. It only just happened. It's not that they've been there for thousands.
Yeah,
But it must have been because it cut the alarm clock.
yeah, exactly.
Maybe it just takes forever for the grub thing to devour the person.
But he would have rotted if it had taken that long.
No, because if the thing was keeping him in stasis, and it
But
just
I
slowly-
presume that was partially the pods doing that.
I don't know. Maybe this is just a problem. I guess.
Yeah, it's kind of something they
Yeah.
overlooked. I mean, it's not a
But
big
yeah.
deal, but it's like something I noticed.
I kind of like how the first of the Wirren we see is dead. Like, we see how kind of big it is because they are massive.
We see how it is, but then we see what it actually is like.
Yeah, it's like you kind of get like a little kind
A
of tease,
taster.
yeah, and then it's like, yo, and then like it's this massive army. And it's like, oh god.
I have to say, like, one really fantastic scene is the scene where Noah's on one side of the radio, and then like Vera and everyone else on the other, and he's slowly like telling them to get out and stuff, and then he's like going back.
Yeah.
And he just kind of snaps, and he's just like, turn off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Keaton Moore is just incredible.
Yeah.
Absolutely incredible. And it's so like episode 2 cliffhanger of the week for this story because it's incredibly good. Where he just pulls his hand out and it's like just covered in this green. That is just incredible because you don't see that coming. Like because you're kind of wondering you kind of first think that he's kind of rotting, you know, or he's just going a bit
So
crazy.
this bit of green is how many went into the
Yeah, because it like touched him, but you weren't sure what that was going to do. And you see he's turning green. It's like, oh my god, he's turning into one of them. And he actually had to cut a scene in this because it was too dark, where basically he's begging Vira to kill him, basically, before he turns into full state. But it was considered too frightening for children. Now, this entire story is actually quite adult, really. But that's because Philip Hinchcliffe's first story. And he wanted to make it more appealing to adults, so that's why he kind of introduced the horror. But I think
kind of
it's
gothic horror.
It's the kind of right amount for kids to watch. I'd say this is like they hit the hammer on the head here. Really,
yeah, it's perfectly watchable for kids. But...
right amount of balance, really. But yeah, it's just a solid story. There's not really too much else you can say about it except like just kind of gush about how good it is.
Actually, one small thing I noticed, actually, they were in the status pods, this is before like a decent amount of people wake up, and it's like in the back, actually, just when Noah first wakes up, there, you can see a guy like, with his eyes open, blinking in the background.
Kind of
one of the
it.
pods, yeah.
Why don't you just keep his eyes closed?
I mean, I imagine, because like on TVs on that...
you wouldn't have seen it, no.
You wouldn't have seen it, and the quality of TVs back in those days is... They keep pointing out in the DVDs, but like, you know, still, like, you could have kept your eyes closed to the thing for this.
Yeah, I know. It's kind of like, come on, dude, come on. But yeah, I love the way that they beat the Wirren as well. It's not really like
It's different.
And like, I just like it how the Doctor's like, oh, you know, maybe he had a bit of human side left with him.
Oh yeah.
And then he calls up and is like, I can't remember, what does he say? He said he gives like a goodbye message to Vira, and he blows up the spaceship. And that's a really sad moment, but I kind of wish they hadn't had that bit where he contacted it.
It was kind of a bit
and
more vague.
Yeah, if a ship just blew up, and then they just left it vague as, oh, did he Noah blow it up, or was it just, you know,
was it going to
an
blow
accident?
Up? Who knows?
But I just really.
I have to say, during the last 2 episodes, when a ship goes into low light, when they've taken out a lot of the power, the lighting there is really effective.
Oh yeah, especially that blue room with Harry, Vira, and the tech guy, Rogan, I think it is. Oh yeah, but Rogan's final sacrifice. That's crazy. Where like the Doctor's about to die, and then he like
just knocks him out,
and then puts him in a kind of a safety place, and yeah.
The plan, basically to protect the room partway through the episode, because like they go through a while, and then there's like the Wirren slowly absorbing all the power and such in there.
Yeah.
And basically they end up with the Doctor and Sarah in the cryo room with like all.
Yeah, and then Sarah has to crawl through.
That
famous scene. Yeah,
that is really a great scene.
I love that where he like starts insulting her, and they're just like, "Get off me! I can do it myself." This is why Sarah Jane is basically everyone's favorite. Like, she's just so awesome. You just can't not like Sarah Jane.
Of course.
As a companion, you just kind of have to like her. She may not be your favourite, but she's definitely your top like 5 or 3, you know, like yeah, Sarah Jane.
Yeah, no, like she gets angry. Of course, Tom Baker his role in that shouldn't be understated. Like the insults, like he delivers so perfectly. Like it's so perfect that moment.
I don't get how he just managed to like come in so comfortably to this role.
Snap straight in.
Yeah, it's like maybe not know Doctor Who helps you a bit more, but then I mean Matt Smith didn't really know Doctor Who.
But it
was more the writing which was off. I think what we need to kind of congratulate here is the acting and the writing as well. They kind of, I think there was more communication about what the Doctor was going to be like. And I think that really helped, really.
Yeah,
with
definitely.
But I mean, the Wirrens kind of plan to, you know, basically, I love it when they kind of like try and, you know, what's the word? Bargain.
The bargain.
They're trying to bargain with it. They're like, we'll let you live, but leave us everyone else.
So that we can eat. Yeah, it's a really messed up plan.
It's pretty, you know, disturbing, really.
To eat and lay eggs in every human on Earth for like in existence, like.
Yeah, it's kind of.
I don't know how logically, from their perspective, like if they sent, say, just Vira down to Earth, for example, like, you know, you wouldn't be particularly happy.
No, then she'd run into the Sontaran anyway.
Sontaran, yeah.
So that wouldn't be much better.
No. Well, it depends on where she lands, I suppose. Because it's like, that's only a small part of the world.
Well, they land in the same place that the Doctor, Sarah and Harry did, which is pretty close by.
Well, from the that's true. Yeah, from the teleporter. That's true.
But yeah, so yeah, it's just a very, very solid story. Sets are solid. Monsters are very solid. Acting
really is
very, very solid. Music's pretty good as well.
Yes.
For classic Who, it's not annoying or anything. Sometimes you can either get really good classic music, you can get just alright.
Or you can get the Silurians.
Or
like, I love that story, but the music in that is comical.
Yeah.
Like, it's comical. It really.
Some music is just. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, this kind of really all I have to say about Ark in Space. I like the ending where they go off to fix the things. So
yeah, it ties in really nicely. Like, it's directly tying in. Though we don't end up coming back to the ship as it was, so we don't get kind of a.
No, yeah, I kind of wish they did do that.
Yeah, I kind of wish there was a scene. I mean, it makes sense that they head straight to, because the Time Lords take them.
Well, they take them out, but then they add them back, and then it's Revenge of the Cybermen, And this wiki page is wrong because it's saying that the next story is Revenge of the Cybermen on here. And actually, it should be
the next story for the arc.
Yeah, I'm on the arc and it says previous Sontaran experiment next.
Oh, that's odd.
Oh no, that's just in production order.
Production order. Okay.
Yeah, because then they did.
That makes sense because it's the same sets.
Yeah. I was gonna say, I was like, come on, guys, you're tired of wiki. But yeah, no, I like it. 4-parters, I think, are definitely right.
Yeah. I mean, admittedly, this isn't my favourite Tom Baker story. I know this is some people's very favourite. This isn't mine. There's a few others I prefer over it, but... Well, no, I don't think that's exactly a heresy, especially considering how strong Tom Baker's Genesis, Pyramids of Mars, Brain of Morbid... Yeah, I could go on. Like, there's so many great stories there that, you know... It's a bit... Not that this wouldn't be up there as one of my favourites. This is a fantastic story, but it isn't, like, my favourite exactly. But I do love this story a lot.
Yeah. Okay, so I guess we're at the 3 good points.
Yeah. Half decent time. Okay, Actually, I always go first. Can you start? Think about it.
To be honest, you always think about it. I don't know why we do this. Okay, Nick. 3 good points. Oh, thank you, Nick. Go first one. Okay. Definitely Keaton Moore as Noah. Steals the show. I'd say Tom Baker and Keaton Moore. If I'll put those together. It's our show. I can make the rules. And his slow transformation. I mean, just looking at the picture on the Wikipedia page for it, or on the DVD cover, where it's kind of half weir and half man. Fantastic, awesome, like design and makeup there. Even though it's bubble wrap, I know I just really like it. It's kind of they've never done anything like that since, and I think it's just really cool, and like the slow transformation, and it's like not just a battle of the body but also of the mind. Excellent there. The Weirin as a villain, just great, and I wouldn't mind seeing them come back. But I wouldn't mind if they left them alone. I'm very much, don't have a side on which I'm on. I'm kind of pretty open for them to either come back or not. I'd be happy if they don't. I'd be happy if they do. Depending on how good the story is, then, you know.
Yeah.
And 3, I'd say the general sets are pretty nice. I really like the corridor when they're going through space and how they use it really well. Also, I'll just have a 4th in there because I just got to say the writing is amazing. So, yeah, Conrad.
Okay. So, yeah, I'd definitely say the writing, actually quality in general, is like pretty fantastic the entire way through. Like, all the lines are really solid. Though, I'd have to say, perhaps at this point too, that it wouldn't be nearly as good if it hadn't been for the high quality acting present throughout the episode. Like, everybody is really good. Everybody. Not that there's too many characters here, but everybody puts in a high quality performance. Specifically, of course, Tom Baker and Noah. And like as a kid mentioned throughout, the first 2 parts are really carried by Tom Baker and Ian Marter as Harry, kind of bouncing off each other. Like they work off each other really well. And as a first like full travelling story for Harry, this is a really strong start for him. I really do like Harry. I really do like the 3 here. They kind of really work well for each other. And as we continue throughout the rest of this series, it's in general a really strong series. And yeah, I'd say the Warren design in general, actually, I'd agree.
It's a really nice
really
design.
cool. And actually, in fact, the Warren in general, their concept, like in terms of what they do to people, is really messed up as well. It's just really good.
Yeah. Okay, 3 bad points. Oh, can I come up with 3 bad points? Let's see. They're all going to be nitpicks, really.
Yeah.
It's me first now.
Yeah, no,
Wait your turn.
I'm just saying. I wasn't saying. I wasn't jumping. I was just saying I can. But that was all I was saying.
I'd say. See, I can't even really say that the action doesn't get going because, like, the first 2 episodes, though, nothing really Wirren based happens too much in the first 2. It only really kicks off in episode 3 and 4. Yet the first 2 episodes are still pretty bloody intense with their own thing, so I can't really even use that as a bad point. So it really just has to be nitpicks of Vira, her talking gets a bit annoying after a while, but only like after a while, and then it kind of, when the action picks up, she doesn't say as annoying things, but when she's first introduced, she's saying all this stuff, but kind of very boringly, and it's a bit like, okay, we get it. You get it, you know, you're the chosen ones, whatever. Get over it, go on. Two, I guess, just the kind of squeaky polystyrene at times, and probably the bubble wrap, really. I can't really come up with a third, really. I guess Sarah Jane actually takes the back foot in this one quite a bit, but then it's kind of, it's for Harry really, but then it's kind of, she kind of gets her limelight in Sontaran Experiment in the next story, really.
And Genesis.
Because Harry then disappears in that story kind of for a bit in a Sontaran Experiment, because he spends half of it climbing through that underground rock thing. True. But yeah,
okay.
Yeah, I can't really come up with a third. Yeah.
I kind of said that, I mean...
Yeah, it's kind of, but
kind of said three.
It's not really negative.
Okay. So for me, I mean, we mentioned the plot point earlier, but like the fact that the Warren take so long to do anything, doesn't really takes literally thousands of years to do much.
Oh yeah, that's it.
Doesn't really, it's not really a big issue, and you won't notice it necessarily watching it for a first time or anything. But it's a slight issue. I would say perhaps some of the production aspects, like some of it, a lot of it is pretty good for the budget which it's on, but stuff like, for example, the opening shot being a little bit shaky when it really should have been kind of flows. It kind of bothered me a little bit, or the cryogenic freezing looking like plastic, and so, the guy blinking in the background as well. And as a third point, and I mean, it's just kind of reaching a bit since it generally does keep things going, but like one thing I noticed in this episode is that it does sometimes take a while for, like, there isn't much cutting between scenes. So like a lot of things, like for example pressing buttons or people going into places, sometimes like
it's filmed,
there's no cutting between it, so like you see everything, and like it's fine, like generally it works really quite well, but like at points it's like, Can we get move on?
Get some action or something happening.
Yeah, I don't need to press the button here. Or
yeah, that's true.
But it's a minor point, but like it is something that I noticed and kind of bugged me a little bit. But
yeah, okay, I guess the nerdy. So I'm going to kick it off with just the stuff we said earlier. So episode 1 title sequence was tinted green as a test, but was dropped. The cutscene where Noah and Vira asked to kill him was cut because it was considered too scary. Philip Hinchcliffe wanted the show to appeal more to grown-ups, and that's why horror started becoming a kind of running trend in Doctor Who, kind of this gothic horror. It's actually a lot of people who've worked on Doctor Who, so Russell T Davies once called Ark in Space his favourite storyline of the 1963 version of Doctor Who. And Stephen Moffat Russell T Davies once called Ark in Space his favourite storyline from the 1963 version of Doctor Who, and Stephen Moffat considered it the best Fourth Doctor story, while Barnaby Edwards confessed to being petrified of a Warren as a child. And Tom Baker himself has stated, of all the stories he's filmed, Ark in Space was his favourite. So that's pretty popular.
Vira was actually written to be black, possibly Haitian, but this was changed by the director.
Oh, that's weird.
Yeah.
Originally this was an idea by John Lucarotti, who wrote the earlier ones like Marco Polo.
Yeah, he hasn't written since the first Doctor era, since the massacre.
Yeah, so it's kind of a shame that he didn't do it, but I think Robert Holmes really took this one on and made it his own.
The reason he wasn't able to finish it was because he was like on a boat in the middle of
the ocean.
Yeah, at that point, I think what was it? It should say pop, shouldn't it?
Mediterranean.
Yeah, in the middle of the Mediterranean.
Anchored in the Mediterranean.
And there was a strike.
Yeah, so he couldn't finish it, but script editor did. He wasn't ever credited though, which is kind of a
He
shame.
wasn't credited, but he was paid in full for his work.
Ah, that's cool. But I don't know, I'd kind of want my name on one of the best stories ever considered.
True. But it wasn't his script at the end because it was so heavily rewritten.
Yeah.
It's like his concepts, though.
So obviously the Nether Beacon was reused for Revenge of a Cybermen to save money on sets, which is pretty good. I mean, that's pretty smart. I mean, it connects in with it.
Makes sense. John Lucarotti, actually going back to him briefly, actually had given this episode individual names to the episode. So part 1 was called Buttercups, part 2 Puffball, part 3 Camellias, and part 4 Golf Balls, which are kind of odd names and how that quite relates. I guess that's they're probably a bit different in the original script.
Yeah.
I don't know if that means he hasn't seen the show since back when they used to have them.
Well, yeah, because he didn't realise that they stopped
didn't have them anymore. Yeah.
Apart from that, there's not too much else. I think that is too interesting. Aside from an extra Brian Jacobs as Technician June, the 2 voiceover artists, no one but the regular cast appears on screen in part 1 of this story. The last time this occurred was The Edge of Destruction. So yeah, Harry, the Doctor, and Sarah are the only ones who appear on screen during the episode 1.
A small production error. It's an editing error, but basically, there's a very poor piece of editing. Basically, the half-mutilated Noah confronts Vira and the Doctor in the hall.
Yeah, that's when it was
and
cut.
Noah, the door slams, cutting him off, yet there's nobody there to do it, or exactly what happened.
Yeah,
that was actually the part of the scene where Noah asked Vira to kill him. It would have gone there.
Because that is really, really...
as a result,
I noticed that as a weird cut. I was like, "Yo, what happened?" Because there were all these sparks and everything, and suddenly the door shut. But yeah, the yo-yo, which the 12th Doctor uses, first appears in this one. At the very start, he uses the yo-yo to do the gravity test. And I mean, we just saw that in Oxygen at the end, which was cool.
Well, because that was a reference. That story in general is a direct reference to this in a lot of ways.
Yeah, it was really, including the corridors and stuff, and even the spaceship design, the circular kind of.
Yeah, I mean,
it was a bit
more dingy and a bit more not as clean.
But yeah, I guess conclusion. Are you going to go first, or am I going to go first?
I mean, we're changing things around a bit, so you can go.
Oh my god! You're watching history right now, guys. Nick is going to say his conclusion
I think you
first.
probably had to have done it before at one point, right?
I don't know. People tell us, go back and watch them all. Give us views. Okay, so Dark in Space is pure Doctor Who. Excellent sets, acting of villains. When considering it, the entire Wirral plot doesn't start taking shape until episode 3, but this slow build-up works exceptionally well. Tom Baker just owns the role as the Doctor. The moment he steps out the TARDIS, you really wouldn't believe that this was his second story. I mean, I just still can't comprehend it. It's incredible. It's like he's been playing it for at least a year and a half already. Robert Holmes just writes a smashing story, which just doesn't get old. I could watch it again when I got home today, and it would still be, entertaining to watch. It's just solid entertainment. But kudos to John Lucarotti for the idea, at least. I mean, I don't know how much he put into it.
It's heavily edited, but his concepts are his.
Yeah, so really strong. The Ark in Space is a strong reason why Tom Baker's first season is considered one of the most solid seasons of Doctor Who. It's pretty solid.
Yeah.
So yeah, I give the Ark in Space a solid 10 out of 10, as it just really can't be anything else. There's just not enough wrong with it to even bring it down. Even that bad edit just doesn't affect the rest of the story. It just can't really be a 9, because a 9 is kind of flatline, but it's better than flatline, so it kind of just has to be a 10. For its enjoyability, how well it's done, it's just executed perfection. So yeah, if you haven't seen it, definitely think about going to see Ark in Space.
No,
you don't really
spoiled the story rotten, so if you haven't seen it...
That is true.
I mean, it's still enjoyable to watch.
It's so great.
I know. I genuinely think that people who watch these genuinely kind of watch them and just looking for deep analysis of them. I don't know, generally.
Yeah, I guess so.
No, I think there's still enjoyment, even if you haven't seen an episode. Perhaps get interest from it, though.
Yeah, I'd say it's definitely one to pick up if you think of getting into classic Doctor Who.
It's up there. Though for the first season alone, I'd say probably get Genesis of Daleks beforehand, possibly.
I don't know, but I think that's a.
I mean, that's the one I started with for the Fourth Doctor, and kind of.
That's such a solid one to start on. I can't remember my first Fourth Doctor story.
Because I think that was my first story was Tomb of the Cybermen, but I think the Genesis was. Or did we get Leisure Hive beforehand? I don't remember.
I actually think my first Fourth Doctor story was Underworld. I think it was on VHS. I think that might have been the first one I got. What an awful first story! Oh
god, if that's the case.
No wonder I didn't actually like the Fourth Doctor to start with. But yeah, fun nerdy fact. I didn't actually like the Fourth Doctor for a bit. That might have been the reason.
I wouldn't have helped.
Yeah, it's just like the VHS cover just sticks in my mind, and that might be because it was the first one I got of him. So I know the first Tom Baker DVD I got was Genesis of the Daleks. So yeah, I'm pretty sure that it was that.
It might.
Oh no! It might have been Sontaran Experiment actually, because I got this Sontaran. No, it might. I think it was Underworld. I got really early on. I don't know. I'll think about that, and I'll let you guys know if you're interested.
Actually, I think my first was probably Leisure Hive, just because I remember I got it. I got it for my dad's birthday when I was like in year 4 or 5 from the BBC shop in Epsom.
Nice.
Because there was I don't even know if there's still a BBC shop in Epsom.
But yeah, your conclusion, comrade.
Sorry, yeah, okay, we had a bit off. The story is fantastic. No doubts about that. This story is fantastic. Like, the dialogue is really good. The three companions here really work great. In fact, just in general, this season really works great with three companions. It's really nice to have them. And Harry's kind of nice but awkward persona really kind of makes him kind of stand out as a companion. And the way he bounces off the Fourth Doctor really is great. Very high tension throughout all the episodes. I like, especially like with Noah and his confliction all the way through, and there's always stuff to kind of keep you engaged, keeps you interesting. The acting quality is really high. The sets are generally pretty good, and a lot of my issues here are more nitpicks. Now, I was for a little bit conflicted whether or not to give this a 9 or a 10. It was not because I don't know, this is something in the back of my head was just saying maybe it's not quite, but just looking it over, I can't give it anything other than a 10. I mean, if I can give a story Turn Left a 10, I think Ark in Space is more than deserving of that honour, because this is a really fantastic story, and there's really nothing wrong with it, really. I mean, there's nitpicks, but there's all the nitpicks are just so minor and so kind of background that,
just so
and a lot of these, the bigger one, which is why did it take them so long to do anything, that is entirely missable upon your first watch, and even later,
I missed that, to be honest. I didn't see it.
It's not really an issue at all. It's not. There's really not really anything wrong with it, really.
Yeah. So go watch Ark in Space. The Ark in Space. I always miss out the.
Yeah.
I always say just Ark in Space. It's just.
No, I'm just saying. In fact, that's what I got written here. Ark in Space.
Yeah.
It's just easy to say, but
the Ark in Space. I think I like missing out because it makes it sound like the Ark, the William Hartnell story.
Yeah.
So if I say Ark in Space, I know definitely the one I'm talking about. But if I start with the Ark,
and there is a fair similarity between the two. In some ways.
They're now connected, kind of in.
I mean, they're kind of
in reason.
There's all this kind of, as I said in Smile, there's always this kind of event at the end of the world, which is kind of connected through all the stories that take place after. They all kind of tie together.
It's very nice. I like it.
It's really, as I said then, it's kind of a nice continuation of a plot line from the first Doctor era, continuing all the way through right up to today. In fact, I wouldn't be surprised, considering the original writer for this, if he directly kind of took inspiration from his other writers, in the first Doctor era, to bring that concept
definitely.
of the Ark.
I mean, yeah. I mean, just looking at 1975, that was the year of Doctor Who. I mean, you had 3 episodes of Robot, Ark in Space, Untitled Experiment, Genesis of the Daleks, Revenge of the Cybermen, which is okay. But then in the same year, so Revenge of the Cybermen finished on 10th of May 1975. Back on August 30th, 1975. Same year. This is incredible. Terror of the Zygons, then Planet of Evil, then Periods of Mars, then Android Invasion. And there's actually a break between Brain of Morbius and Seeds of Doom. Because Android Invasion finishes on the 13th of December. And then Brain of Morbius didn't start until the 3rd of January. So
they made it a Christmas break, I guess.
Yeah, which I didn't even I never realised that until just now. I didn't even realise it looking at the dates. But yeah, that's so incredible. Yeah. So much Doctor Who in that year.
Yeah, so many fantastic stories.
And yeah, so good as well.
I can't wait to talk about Pyramids of Mars. And Genesis as well.
Just a lot of them. So thank you very much for listening to us ramble on about the Ark in Space. Kind of stay quite on topic this time, really.
Yeah.
It's just because really when it's so good, you can't really joke about it that much, I guess. So subscribe.
Or not. You don't have to be one of these people in the pods. You know, you just conforming and being kind of a bit, part of the system as opposed to your own individual person. You just got to break free of that. You've got to be more like what Vira became, more of an independent person. Go on your own. Fight it alone. Do it for me. Fight the good fight.
You totally missed the obvious one of Noah being overtaken by the Wirren.
Yeah.
I thought that was so set up for you.
I was. I mean, it kind of went in my head, and then it kind of.
You need to plan these. You were so good at them, and then it's crumbling around you.
Sorry.
Yeah, don't be a Noah just being overtaken by the Wirren. Do what you believe in.
Believe in yourself.
Yeah.
Like I believe in you.
Oh. See you next week, guys.